How's it going everyone? Chris here, back again with my Modern Warfare 3 Weapon Guide video series. Today we're going to take a look at the M16A4. Now this has got to be one of the worst weapons in the game. I think it's quite widely known how bad this weapon is. I think it's in there with the Dragunov and I was going to say some of the LMGs, but now they've been patched. I think the LMGs are all probably better than this weapon. The M16's been around in pretty much every Call of Duty with the exception of World at War. And it's always featuring that 3-round burst mode, and in Modern Warfare 3 it's probably the worst rendition of the M16, whether that's just because all the other weapons are slightly more powerful or whether it's just got some disadvantages in its stats, I don't know. But let's take a look at this weapon as part of this guide and we'll try and figure it out. So M16A4, manufactured by Colt in real life. It's an assault rifle in Modern Warfare 3 and it's unlocked early on at level 4 once you unlock your custom creator class. So first up, let's take a look at the general features of the M16A4. Damage figures come in pretty average at 45-25, which allows the usual 3 to 4 shots to kill. If you manage to get a headshot in there, the headshot multiplier allows you to get 2 to 3 shot kills. Being a 3-round burst weapon means the spread of bullets is pretty tight, and as you can see there's hardly any recoil between those shots. And one of the good features about the M16 is it has those quite clean iron sights with that pretty usable front pin and rear aperture, so you don't really need an optic on this weapon, which leaves the attachment slots open for other choices. Looking at these features so far, you'd think that the M16 is pretty good on paper. There's nothing that stands out as being at a major disadvantage in comparison to the other weapons, but we'll move on and take a look at some more detailed stats. Like we mentioned, the fire mode is 3-round burst, as it is in most of these Call of Duty games. Being an assault rifle, it's got that moderate aiming speed of 0.30 seconds. Rate of fire is pretty average at 780 rounds per minute. That's about the same as the M4, not far off the fire rates of the SCAR and the G36. One of the best features for the M16 is its reload time. The Colt weapons all seem to have pretty fast reloads, with the M16 and the M4 coming in top with a 2.03 second reload time. This definitely makes it a weapon that you can switch out your first tier perk for something other than sleight of hand if you so wished. And finally, magazine size comes in at the average 30 rounds. That's about the same as all the assault rifles with the exception of the FAD's 40 round magazine size. So overall, looking at those general features and its statistics, you wouldn't think that the M16 is too bad. It's got some decent stats here and there. It's got that fast reload time, it's got that low recoil, meaning the spread of shots is very tight. It's got pretty average damage figures, meaning a 3 to 4 shot kill, and being a 3-round burst weapon means you'll be able to get 1 burst kills. However, in actuality, it all goes to pot, and this weapon just doesn't perform in game. We've got 2 3-round burst weapons in the game, the Type 95 and the M16A4, and the M16 seems to be the neglected twin of the Type 95. The main difference between the Type 95 and the M16 is the rate of fire. The Type 95 seems to work because it has a fast rate of fire by default, and you can increase that even more with rapid fire. Then for some reason they decided to increase the close range damage of the Type 95 even more, making it one of the most powerful weapons in the game. On the other hand, we've got the M16, which has a pretty moderate damage figures, 3 to 4 shots to kill, but it's the rate of fire that really brings this weapon down and inhibits its performance. 780 rounds per minute just doesn't seem to be enough to provide a fast time to kill, especially when you consider that pause between the bursts. You can remedy this slightly with rapid fire, but still the fire rate with rapid fire will mean that you often still run into hit markers and need multiple bursts to get a kill even at close range. If you're using a 3-round burst weapon and you know that it takes 3 shots to kill, you just expect in game that if you get a hit marker on your first shot, then you just assume that the second and third shots are going to land and take the enemy out. But it's not the case with the M16. I've had times in games where I've got hit markers on 3 to 4 shots, so I don't know where those second and third shots from the bursts are going, but obviously not going into the bad guy. And obviously while this is all happening, you're getting shot and stabbed in return. I think the only fix this weapon really needs is an increase of its fire rate. I think even if this weapon had an 850 rounds per minute fire rate, which is still slower than the Type 95, I think it would perform much better in that each grouping of 3 shots would be much tighter, allowing for all shots to land on target. But overall in game we've got the Type 95, which makes the M16 pretty much obsolete, and there's no real reason to use the M16 over the Type 95. But if you did want to give the M16 a try just to mix things up, here's my recommendations of attachments you'd want to go for. My number one piece of advice for using the M16 is not to use it without rapid fire. Like I've already mentioned, that 780 rounds per minute fire rate just isn't enough for a 3-round burst weapon, and you'll often need multiple bursts to actually get a kill, in that it's often only your first shot out of the 3 that land a hit. With rapid fire it increases that fire rate a little bit, just making the weapon more reliable, but still, even with rapid fire you'll often find it pretty inconsistent, and it's really all down to pot luck and whether all 3 shots land a hit, or whether you're left being stabbed in return after getting a hit marker on your first burst. Seeing as that attachment slot is filled up with rapid fire, the 2 attachments proficiency can be pretty handy to enable you to select a second attachment of your choice. And my 2 recommendations would go with either the silencer or red dot sight. The silencer will bring your drop off range closer, which means you'll need those 2 bursts in order to get those 4 shots to kill. But the advantage of staying off the radar and not appearing as that little red dot when you open fire can be more beneficial. Otherwise, we've already mentioned and seen that the iron sight is pretty good on this weapon, but for a more precision rifle like this, the optics like the red dot sight or the holographic sight can be pretty handy, just to give you that little window to aim through and make it easier to line up those shots with the little dots as opposed to the more obtrusive iron sights. So that's about it for my guide to the M16A4 in Modern Warfare 3. Let me know if you've got any good scores with this weapon down in the comments. I'd love to hear your experiences with it after having a pretty terrible gaming session with it myself. If you enjoyed this video or learned anything new, please drop me a thumbs up to help share the video with others and give my videos overall more widespread exposure. If you've just stumbled across my videos, be sure to subscribe, stick around for plenty more of these Modern Warfare 3 weapon guides. So thanks for watching, and catch you all later.